I've prepared myself for this moment for at least 5 years of pee-wee and endless practices. It comes down to the final play of the fourth quarter. I focus on the man in front of me. He is a giant, a huge, colossal object staring down at me as he is trying to protect someone, or more important, something. I hear one solitary word: go. Throughout my life, I have always had a love for the game. It is the power to separate the men from the boys. It will change a man forever. It makes them believe that they have the power to do all things. It made me feel like this. It made me a man. Every time I play the sport, it makes me feel different. It makes us all feel different. We all respond to the sport in different ways. Some of us get more competitive, and we try to gain more power, which makes us even more competitive. Others just play it like a game. But that is what it really is, just a game. I'm working hard in all my practices. I try as hard as a person could. I really want to get on the first team. That way I can play more than other people have a chance to. Continue to work hard as the coaches watch us and observe as we try to get the ball away from the other team. They continue to watch us as we fight for what we need to win. All throughout the practice, I begin to tire with each push and shove I share with the other team. But through all this, I continue on because it will make me stronger so I can protect my team and fight against the other team. Later I find out that I have made the first team offense. And this pleases me. It showed me that through all my hard work, they have shown me that they believe I have the power to protect our most important people on the field. They want me to be a guardian. Then I hear that I will be put on second team defense, which makes me feel a little more displeased. I wouldn't be on the front lines of battle. I had always been a fan of being on defense, but now I would have to fight even harder to be what I wanted. Much like many things in life, I have to fight for what I wanted. The next day, when I had practice, I did all I could to show my coaches that they had made a mistake in not putting me on first team defense. When the second team offense played, I got to play defense. Whenever I heard that special word, I snapped into action. Go! I sprung into action every time that word was mentioned. Go! The word is self-explanatory. Go! When the word is said, it triggers your brain to make your body move and push to the limits that it contains. Go! It makes you have an adrenaline rush to make your body have power. Go! Play the game for fun, to let out anger. That's what the whole thing is, really though. A game to get out your anger and to have fun while doing it. And if someone gets hurt then you have to be careful. But it's still a fun game in general. Getting hurt, though, is when my season started to fly down the crapper. When my team was still in the second quarter of our game, we got a turnover. So we had the ball and we were running it. That's when things started to go south. We were playing a really good team called Regina. They had some powerful kids. When I got into the game, I am known as left tackle. When I got out there, I looked into the eyes of the powerhouse in front of me. He had a face of the demon that wanted to eat my soul. Then I heard that special word, go. Bang! The clash of our pads against each other made me fill up with even more adrenaline. I protected my side, but on the other side, some maniac got through to tackle the person we were supposed to protect. Then after I heard the new play, we set up again. I looked into the eyes of a madman that was willing to do anything to get the ball. Go! We clashed again. But this time, something didn't feel right in my head. I began to have a throbbing feeling in my head. Then when I got back into position, I looked across once more to the Colossus that would smash me if I didn't act quickly. Go! I sprang into action, racing across the line of no return, pushing myself into the beast in front of me. I made one mistake through all my fighting. I pushed so hard against the monster in front of me that I hurt myself really bad. We scored, but the pain would have been worth it if I hadn't learned what had happened. Right after that play, my head began to hurt badly, so badly that I couldn't stand the pain. I told my coach, and he brought me out and put someone else in my place. Running back to our bench, I got a dizzy feeling, and I nearly fell. I told him that I had so much pain that I could barely stand the throbbing. He checked my eyes to see if they had dilated. After he did, he told me that I would have to stay out of the game for the rest of the night. That made me mad. But after all the pain, I thought how it was probably for the best. At halftime, my dad came out of the stands to see if I was okay. I had to tell him that I wouldn't be able to finish the game. He was a little disappointed, but he thought that it was good that I would still be okay. After the game, I still had a major pain in my head. It was later, after the game, my headache began to become even more powerful. It was a bad throbbing pain that came up the back of my skull. It seemed as if something was climbing up my back and into my skull to feed on my brain. I would have to be taken to the emergency room to get it checked out and make sure everything was okay. After I got changed out of my uniform, I had to ride to Iowa City to wait in a room for half an hour while my head was getting munched on by the zombie in my head. When I actually did get to the room where they were going to check me out, I made the biggest mistake in the world. I told them that my neck hurt. I should have just manned up and just said that the only thing that hurt was my head, because after I told the doctor, He put a brace on my neck. That is one of the most uncomfortable things you will ever have on your body. It made my neck hurt even more than it did before. It strained your neck to make it so that if something was out of place, it would, quote, fix it. To me, it just made things feel worse. But that was only the beginning of my problems. Later they did x-rays on me to see if I had any broken bones. I didn't have any broken bones. I had a concussion. It made it so I would have severe neck pain for a long time. It also made it so I couldn't do any physical activity for quite a while. Couldn't even have the adrenaline rush when I heard that special word. Having heard this made me really sad, but then the doctor said to me that if I did try something, I would have this pain for even longer. I certainly didn't want that, so for the next month, I had to watch as other people got to play a game while I just helplessly watched from the sideline. After the month was over, I lost my team on first offense, which actually made sense to me. I had earned my privilege, got it taken forcefully away, and now I had to earn it back. I started off as my normal spot on second team defense while first team offense practiced against us. I was able to get through the ball every time, which made the other team mad and forced them to play harder, which made it a whole lot more fun. Then after I was doing so good, it forced the coaches to bribe the offense. Every time one of the defense got through and got the ball, the offense would have to run. Of course, you know what would happen next. I would get through and make the other team run. Those moments were the purest moments of fun I've ever experienced. After a lot more days of practice, I actually earned back the opportunity to be on first team offense. This meant that the coaches believed after my downtime, then the comeback, they believed that I had earned back my power. This meant that I would have to work even harder to earn a spot on first team defense. That wasn't actually too hard. All I had to do was get better at getting through the wall of China the offense was going to put up every time the special word was screamed. I don't know about you, but the wall of China is pretty big, so I'd better power and bulk up.
Breakdown.
After some time of playing hard and forcing bodies to go beyond the limit, our team came to its final game. The people we were playing were very good. It would be a great feat to beat them. The buzzer went off, signaling the start of the game. It was time to win. Through all quarters, both teams went through wins and losses. We would get really close to scoring, then the other team would get smart and change out their players to get more power on the battlefield. Then the same would happen to their team. Then when it finally came to halftime, we were seemingly exhausted. But either the willpower in each of my teammates pulled together, or even just all freaked out by the coaches screaming on our faces. The third quarter didn't last long. Both teams had the urge to pull together to get the game over with and won. When the final quarter came at first, we were all tired and a lot of people were starting to cramp up. That's when, deep down inside me, I had a brief moment that I thought we might lose. Realizing what I caught myself thinking, I snapped out of it, pulled every last bit of energy I had left in my body. Then the quarter came down to the last few plays. They had the ball. I prepared myself for this moment for at least 5 years of pee-wee and endless practices. It comes down to the final play of the fourth quarter. I focus on the man in front of me. He is a giant, a huge colossal object staring down at me as he is trying to protect someone, or more important, something. I hear one solitary word, go. I snapped into action with only one thought in my head, get the ball, before they score and we lose the game. And that's just what I did. At the end of our final 8th grade game, the defense sprung into action. We caused to pile up behind the line of scrimmage, protecting our goal and winning the game. That was truly a great feat.